Hey guys, it's Rich with Spokane Home Guy Group, and I'm joined again by Mike Hogan with Chimney Rock Mortgage. And today we're probably on the nicest patio, I think, for having a beer, and that's No-Li. I mean,
If there's a better place than this in Spokane, I haven't been there.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just crazy. The river right next to us, and yeah, it's a nice setting. So we're going to give you a July real estate market update, talk about rates, and then we're also going to talk about. I know it's kind of boring, but just talk about for me, like the excitement of no fit intervention and what that's actually why I think it's a benefit. And so I guess why we both think it's a
Yeah,
benefit.
yeah.
I don't mean to be so
No,
selfish. Yeah. Yeah. So for the month of July, if you're looking at real estate prices, both for you as a seller or as a buyer, we did see the median, which is just the middle of the road price, decline by 1.6%, down to 436,000 and some change. We saw the average sale price, obviously taking in the highest, highest sold home and the lowest sold home, settle at 495, which was up 2%. And that's month over month. And so year over year for both the median and the average sale price, pretty much flat. Both were up 0.04%. And, like in looking at the data, primarily what's driving that is we are seeing more homes come onto the market. And we're seeing fewer pending sales. And so we're kind of like in this, I guess it'd just be a balanced market where we have stuff coming onto the market, not moving as fast. And so, yeah, and the benefit to that, and I'll hand it over to you for rates, but we did see rates come down quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like you mentioned at the start, without Fed intervention, interest rates probably closed at one point in time in the last 10 days as low as they've been in over a year, almost a year and a half. They've trickled back up a little bit, but they're still at much lower rates than they've been all year. It's, I think you had mentioned before we started talking, it's added about $30,000 in buying power for the average consumer. So it is a significant movement down that, does make it an exciting time, I think, to be looking for real estate.
Yeah, I think so. And for the buyers out there, if you are pre-approved, one of two things happened for you in the last, 30 days or last couple of weeks. And number one, it became more affordable for you to buy a house. Housing prices didn't change, rates came down, it's more affordable. Number two, maybe you look up into the next price bracket or what have you with a $30,000 increase in purchasing power. That might be a fourth bedroom or a third car garage or something along those lines.
It seems to me that you have two options, right? Either you can now the house that you wanted that seemed like a stretch, you can stretch into that house, or you can, you're not happy with the price point you're at now, you can move up into a higher price point and keep your payment the same as it would have been 30 days ago.
Yeah, yeah. So it's nice, I think, for a buyer, and you've been doing this longer than I have. I think I'm going on 15 years now. It's nice for a buyer to be able to enter into the market or pivot a little bit on what their strategy was, initially coming into the market and maybe looking a little bit more and knowing and having clarity on what your payment's going to be still.
Yeah, and think that, and I also think the thing from exciting from a buyer standpoint, as more homes do come on the market, you're going to have a few more choices to look at, and maybe not have to make a instantaneous, call, and if that's the house, you might have time to actually go look at two or three different houses before you decide if that's the one you want.
Yeah, yeah. And on the other side of the coin for sellers, prices are staying stable. You're not losing any equity in the house. The pace of growth is definitely slowing a bit. And when we're looking at like historic trends, we're kind of like in this weird spot where we're entering into I just call it a flag or a pennant. If you look back 10 years, we have just massive ramp up in housing prices. And right now we're kind of squeezing down into the narrow end of a funnel, and it's going to break one way or another. My theory is it's going to break to the upside because we just don't have the inventory and rates are coming down.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know that I see anything fundamentally that's going to force housing prices to make a very big dip. And I do think, in the long haul, interest rates are going to continue to improve. Are they ever going to go back to the 3% or 2.5% that we saw during COVID? No,
Yeah,
they're not. Something catastrophic like COVID would have to happen again. But if they get to a point where there's a 5 in front of them, it really becomes a very good, fresh market for buyers to be buying. And
yeah.
even now, we're not that far from that.
Well, and even sellers, I mean, personally, I'm at 2.75%. And like everyone else, I'm looking at this and I'm like, man, if I have another child or a divorce or whatever, or some sort of life change, it's going to be more expensive for me to go and get the same house. I mean, probably 2 times more expensive. And so as that gap closes between where rates are at now and those ones with twos or threes in front of them, it becomes an easier. It becomes I guess more of a conversation that you're going to have, as far as making a choice.
Yeah, and also, I mean, at some point in time, if you need another bedroom, you need another bathroom, you need a bigger house. I mean, you aren't going to have any control of the interest rates, and it's not like we're looking that interest rates are going to drop 2 more points. I just don't see that happening.
Yeah.
So, with some lowering of interest rates, I think it's become a good time to start really looking.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, just kind of the last point I think that we talked about beforehand is all of this has happened just based on rumor that the Fed's going to lower the rates, and it's rumored that the Fed's going to lower the rates, 0.5% when they meet next, or maybe September. And like none of that has happened, and yet the invisible hand of the market has said, "Okay, well, we're like it's just kind of naturally working itself out without the intervention of the Fed." And so, I mean, honestly, if I'm a consumer and I'm thinking about making a move, I'd almost buy the rumor right now.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
No, I'm with you. I think that there's no question that the Fed is going to get intervened, but I think some of the rate improvement has probably already been priced in, so they're already buying that rumor.
yeah, yep. Yeah. So, I mean, if anybody's in the market to either have a game plan or ready to dive in or put your house on the market, I mean, we can be reached 990 sold.
509-747-1300.
Awesome.